On Las Vegas 1, Cox Cable Channels 1 and 39.
Parents, listen up. There's a new book on the market that may change the way you discipline and interact with your children. A local author has written a book that targets parents with babies and toddlers with simple, easy-to-use rules and guidelines. Joining us this morning is Marinakis, who is a family and child counselor. Ms. Marinakis has been working with children for over 7 years and has worked with the Department of Defense in Germany. She also is a mental health counselor for the Las Vegas Paiute tribe. Maria, thanks for coming in this morning. First of all, tell us about your book.
What do you want to know?
Well, let's start with its
There's
title.
So much. I decided to call the book Parenting Infants and Toddlers Without Going Nuts, because most of the clients that I see, or parents come in, and the #1 complaint is, my kid is driving me nuts. What do I need to do?
And that seems like, yeah, a good question to start off. What do you do if, you know, your little child, the terrible twos, we've heard them called and stuff, what do you do to keep yourself from going crazy and to also properly discipline your child?
First of all is knowing that there is no such thing as a perfect parent,
okay,
and give yourself a break for that. Secondly, I think the most important thing that you can do as a parent is to teach your child, guide your child, and establish a really healthy relationship with your child. And that's normally where we see the breakdown in communication between parent and child, and then you see a lot of discipline problems as a result.
And why does that happen?
Why does that happen?
Yeah, I mean, how does that, you know, how does it get to that point where there is this breakdown in communications, especially for such young children?
Well, the basic role of the parent is to role model for the child. When we're talking about very young infants and babies, their #1 objective at that time is to figure out who's the #1 person who's there to take care of me, to respond to my needs, and to keep me safe. And if as a parent you are consistent in responding to those needs, then the child learns to trust that you're going to be there to take care of those needs, and then cries less in the next 6 months.
Is this also a classic problem of this is the most important job in the world and the one for which we receive the least training?
Absolutely. I absolutely see that.
So give some tips for folks out there right now, maybe who do have a really young child. I mean, just some practical things. You know, if they've got a 1 or 2-year-old out there right now and maybe experiencing some discipline problems, you know, that sort of thing. Explain kind of a system you would follow over the course of a day to kind of deal with this.
Well, I go through my little 5 rules to live by, and parents usually want some kind of like one-step Band-Aid answer, and there is none. The biggest thing you can do is get off the couch. You know, no matter how tired you are when you come home from work or whatever your day consists of, get off the couch, get on the floor, spend playtime with your child, really relating, getting down on their level, letting them lead some play, and building that relationship. Play is so underrated as a parenting tool, because there's a lot more that happens than just having fun. That's where a child learns how to relate to you as an adult, as a parent. They use that relationship to determine how they're going to relate to other adults, how they're going to make friends, the give and take, sharing.
Can you give us an idea of like maybe a game you could play with your child and maybe instills, you know, a few values at a young age?
With toddlers, the greatest things to develop with them is their imagination. With the younger children, babies, you can still do a back and forth, smiling games, peekaboo games, those kinds of things. Kids are really into music, anything that you can set to music. Music and songs work great to get kids to do different things instead of harping on them and nagging them and telling them over and over again what you want them to do. Make a song up about it. Make it into some kind of a fun activity. And then with toddlers like 3, 4, 5, 6, their imagination is so great. I like role-playing games. The farm set is my favorite.
How important are the first 5 years of a child's life and your parenting skills in determining what comes after?
They're extremely important, because in the first 5 years is when kids really develop an attachment. Usually it should be to the parent or the caregiver, whoever that might be. And that's what they use to determine how they relate to others. You know, when they go to school, their socialization with you and playing with you, a give and take, taking turns, learning how to be courteous, those are the skills that they then take into preschool, into kindergarten, and further on.
Maria Marinakis, some good advice. Thanks for joining us this morning. And we'll have your news headlines in just a moment.